Hi Graham, I was a bit stumped when you asked or posed this question. What brings me joy from church? Sometimes in the past it hasn't always been the top of my list. But that said, I think recently I've been blessed and had joy from the way some of those of both Boulton Lane have lived and spoken about their faith despite the circumstances they find themselves in. Also just seeing the way they care for each other and care for people around them, community. But I think probably top of my list that brings me joy is just seeing God work in the people around me.
We've had lots of joyful moments over the years, and it's hard to pick one out really. But there's one very personal joyful moment that stood out for me when I was thinking, and that was about 3 years ago when we were in the Sunday school in the back room, and I got Connor with me, not Hayden, he wasn't old enough then, but I got Connor with me. And Connor was about 5, coming up for 5, and it was Christmas time, and we were lighting the advent calendars, candles, and we got the curtains shut, and we were talking about it and saying how quiet it was. And then Connor had said to me then, he says, do you know what, Nana, sometimes when I'm really quiet and close my eyes, I can hear God talking to me. He says, not in my ears, but in my head. I says, oh, can you? And he says, yeah, Les. I says, so what does he say to you? And he stopped and he closed his eyes really tight like that for a minute. And I says, what's he saying to you? He says, he just says to me, Connor, I love you very, 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 very much. Now, I don't doubt that he heard that at all.
No.
You know, and for him, and he was coming up for 5 at the time. Now, it quite pleased me that took us on to a couple of years later, where he come home from school and they've been doing about different religions. And he says, I'm a Christian, aren't I? I said, yeah. And he says, well, I should be christened. Mm-hmm. And I said, well, we don't do christenings in our church, but we do dedications. So we did have a discussion about it as a family. And he decided he wanted to be dedicated because he wanted everyone to know that he was a Christian. And we had a dedication service for him 2018. And all the family came. So sort of those 2 joyful moments amongst many others with other members of the church, but those were very personal to me. And, you know, I hold them close because, especially the first one, because he just come out with it. What's God saying to you? God says, I love you very, very much, Connor.
It's been a journey and a half, mountaintops and deep valleys. Joy is God has been with us through it, over it, round it, under it. The core has been faith and trust, which has enabled us to experience the joy of the amazing blessings of God. For example, the joy of being at the foundation of someone's call to ministry. He then gave us a new foundation as a church on which to build a hope and a future as promised by God. He turned us upside down and inside out, brought change, which in itself is a difficult garment to wear, but when lined with love becomes more pliable. The joy of his journey, his first wedding, first baptism, with more following. The joy of widening our territories of mission outreach in our communities, with our summer and Christmas fairs and barbecues, including the changes to the building inside and out, not standing still, but moving forward. Joy that there are new chapters yet to be reached in Boulton Lane's book of purpose. Joy is that God has also provided our needs. The situation was that we needed some money for a gas inspection, a boiler repair, and we had an auction at the end of the week that Mike was doing, and the building was going to be closed. And so anyway, the man said, yes, okay, we'll do the work. And the cost was about 760 something pounds. Linda will remember. We'd only got about 1,400 in the bank. But anyway, on the night of the auction, the amount raised was 762 or £3. It covered the cost of the repair. So that was God's provision. And I shan't forget that. I don't think many of us will. But also the joy of ministry. From Rex, we had Jane, then we had Mike, then Jane came back. Andrew and Sonia felt called to be part of the Boulton Lane family, bringing their gifts and abilities in so many ways, beautiful blessings. And then a door of blessing opened, and we had one voice to walk through, to journey with Ozzy Road. So as we enter our 65th year, the joy is a new chapter begins.
Hello everybody, it's really good to be with you and be able to send this message to you on your 65th anniversary. Quick update from the lows. Josh, Big Josh is now at university studying economics, philosophy and psychology, and despite the difficult start to the year, he is enjoying exploring life as a young adult. Oliver, you may remember, has been sort of quite little and cheeky, as of course he's now up here as well. He's 14 now and getting on well with his homeschooling at the moment. Lisa is a year 6 teacher and she's, pray for her please, yeah, it's a difficult time but getting on well considering the circumstances. For myself, I've now had 5 years, would you believe, down here, and I'm currently the National Communications Manager for the Baptist Union, and I'm also heavily involved with the Children, Young People and Families Roundtable, the sort of national discerning voice for Baptists in that area. So of course anniversaries, they're a great time to sort of reflect back, and the last one I shared you was when you were 60. And looking back again over those 5 years and back in the nearly 9 years that I shared with you as I was part of your plan and purpose at Boulton Lane, I think we can look back and think, you know, what a great ride of faith it was. Yes, it was a roller coaster. We started off slowly and jumped to the top as we tried to explore what it meant to be a missional community, looking out there, trying to engage with the local community, and then brilliant ups and downs and too fast, too slow. What a great time. And I think as I reflect and I've seen some of the things that you've been doing, particularly over the past year, which has been of course so difficult, it's been great to see the use of the community garden, doing outdoor services, the knitting club, carol service, and of course the brilliant display at the front which got so much attention. And so I think you're still going forward in mission, which is brilliant to see, to know that God is beyond the 4 walls of the church. And now you, of course, have this extended family with Ozzy Road. And so my thought is that as you go forward, continue to explore what God's plan and purpose is, to remember to what it is to be a missional community. And as I've reflected on that, I think mission for me is where you recognise Christ in everybody. And so I pray for you as a community as you go forward, and certainly the aim for Lisa and I later on this year, hopefully on a warm sunny Sunday morning, we will come and visit you. So take care and see you soon. Bye.